All right, Chapter 9, the digestive system. In this section, we're going to do an overview of the digestive system. So, the organs of the digestive system are going to be located within the gastrointestinal tract. Its primary function is going to be to hydrolyze or break down those macromolecules that are found in food. The subunit molecules like monosaccharides, amino acid, fatty acids, glycerol. See if you can go through those, name those. Monosaccharides are the monomer for what polymer? Amino acids are the monomer for what polymer? Fatty acids are the amino acid for what polymer? All right, so think about that. Just sort of take a few minutes and see if you can go through and remind yourself of all of the monomers and polymers of those biomolecules that we talked about at the beginning of the semester. But anyway, those monomer subunits can cross the plasma membrane using facilitated and active transport. So the goal of digestion is to break those molecules down so they can actually enter into the cells. The nutrients are going to be made that once they're made available are going to be transported by the blood to our cells. So this is where the digestive system and the cardiovascular system sync up and to accomplish the goal of getting nutrients to the various cells in our body. So there are going to be several stages of digestion. The first is going to be ingestion. Ingestion is where we take our food and we put it into our bodies through the mouth. The next step will be digestion. Digestion is the mechanical and chemical breaking down of foods into their subunits. Mechanical digestion will occur up here in the mouth. Chewing in the mouth is going to help break down that food. But there is also smooth muscle contraction in the stomach that is going to aid in the mechanical digestion as well. Chemical digestion is when we use digestive enzymes to hydrolyze macromolecules into their subunits. Now, this actually does begin all the way up here in the mouth with amylase. Amylase is an enzyme that breaks down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. Just take an example. If you want to take either a piece of bread or a saltine and you kind of suck on it, chew on it, but don't swallow. Chew it up and hold it in your mouth. You'll notice after time it might start to taste a little sweet, and that's because of the starch being broken down into simple sugars in your mouth. So chemical digestion is those digestive enzymes that hydrolyze macromolecules into subunits. Begins in the mouth, continues in the stomach, but it's completed in the small intestine. So we first have ingestion, then digestion. Next step will be movement. The food is going to be passed from one organ to the next, normally by contractions of smooth muscle. This is going to be called peristalsis. Peristalsis is going to be the wave-like motion of smooth muscle that's going to pass food from your mouth down into your stomach, from your stomach into your small intestine, through your small intestine, through your large intestine, and then out of your body. Indigestibles must be expelled. Can anybody think of going way back to when we talked about different macromolecules? There's a particular form of carbohydrate that is not digestible by humans, but it does play a very important part in our diet. We cannot digest it, cannot break it down, cannot use it for fuel, but it does play a very important role in our body. So see if you can remember what that macromolecule was. I will give you a hint. It is a structural carbohydrate found in plants. So that's movement. The food has to be passed through our bodies. Now, it's not enough to just move that food around. We need to actually absorb those nutrients. So we can break down that food, we can pass that food along, but then we need to absorb that. That absorption will be the movements of the nutrients across the GI tract into the blood. Once we enter the bloodstream, we can then be delivered to the cells. That's going to happen over here in the small intestine. That's where we move from the GI tract into the circulatory system. Finally, the last step of this process will be elimination, the removal of those indigestibles out of the body through a process known as defecation. All right, so you should be able to list the digestive organs and accessory structures of the digestive system. We just kind of went through the process that occurs during the digestive process, we just kind of just went through the process of digestion. We're going to hit all of those different organs in greater detail in our next section, so I just want to mention them briefly, but do spend a little bit of time with this diagram. You should be able to, cover up both sides of this image, cover up all the words here, and just talk through what's happening. At what stages do we have mechanical digestion? At what stages do we have chemical digestion? What stages do we have absorption and elimination? What are the different organs that are going to be found in each one of these locations, and what role are they going to play in this process? So this is an excellent slide to help you review. Make sure by the end of this chapter that you're able to kind of walk through everything that's happening in this diagram.